Continuing conversation with Stephen Shen, the chairman of the China-U.S. Business Summit. This wonderful two-day event up in Los Angeles brings together Chinese investors and entrepreneurs and their American counterparts.
Yes.
And what is the goal of the summit?
The goal is to build a platform for Chinese entrepreneurs and U.S. entrepreneurs. And it's a non-governmental, non-profit platform.
And it serves businesses in China and connects them with business people in the United States.
Where we're not only doing the annual event, but also we're providing the daily service.
Wonderful. Well, here's the program, the post-event program from the 2012 summit, which I had the pleasure and honor of co-hosting. And to give you some idea of the scope, here's a photograph of the attendees in, I guess, one of the grand ballrooms of the Biltmore Hotel, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous hotel. And here's a photograph of some of the hundreds of attendees that participated in the summit. And finally, here's a photograph of yours truly acting as co-host with Ulan, who was the Chinese co-host. And we each spoke our respective languages to the respective constituencies. I must comment, Steve, how well planned and organized it was. I know you have a lot of volunteers from SC and other schools that help man it. The summit is a nonprofit entity, and it's there to facilitate and help business people on both sides of the ocean. And among the benefits that you suggest in your brochure, matchmaking and CEO meetings between Chinese businessmen and women and their American counterparts, promoting business projects in China, learning about the culture and the experiences of the other, and increasing a company's international visibility. Tell us a little bit about how this would allow a company to be more present on the international scene.
Well, it's like what I said before, the key thing for Chinese entrepreneur to do business here in the United States is to understand U.S. culture, to get to know U.S. entrepreneur more, because we have so much difference. So that once we have this platform, we really get the chance to have them to talk to people, each other, face to face, like what you just mentioned, the event, business matchmaking. They can talk freely, introduce their projects, and to talk about how to form a partnership, and also CEO meetings, these events. Yeah.
And so it's not just the formal programs and the seminars, but also all the free time where you have a chance to actually meet on a one-on-one basis.
Yeah, we also have 4 different cocktail parties, so that people not only can listen to in the seminar, listen to the philosophy and the ideology from the counterpart, but also that they have a chance to talk to them directly in the leisure time, in a leisure way.
And there are 4 themes to your conference this year: China-U.S. Investment and Financing Forum, an Educational Cooperation Forum,
yes,
a Media Innovation and Cooperation Forum, and a Real Estate Investment Forum, covering a lot of different territory.
Yes.
The benefits we've talked about, but some statistics you provided as a result of last year's conference: 166 entrepreneurs from China attended. 30% of the participants were top entrepreneurs in their field. 40% of the participants were returning guests, so they had been there before and found it of value and came back. 35% of the entrepreneurs achieved effective results, and more than 70% of the entrepreneurs found potential corporate partners. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Partnering.
Yes. Right.
Joint venturing, you mentioned earlier.
Right.
Why has joint venturing become such an important thing recently?
Well, number one, as you know, that the Chinese entrepreneurs, they got money. They got a US dollar
They sure
to
do.
spend.
They sure do.
That's number one. Number two, as the Chinese company going international, that they would like to internationalize their company. And the US is certainly an ideal place for them because a lot of them thinking that doing business here in this side of the ocean is safer.
Yes, well, we welcome them with open arms. And in the next segment, we'll talk about Long Beach connection. And Steve decided to locate his offices for this summit in Long Beach. Of all the different cities that he could have chosen, he decided 4 years ago to put the office here in Long Beach. In the next segment, we'll find out why. We'll be back after these messages. We're continuing a conversation with Chairman Shen about the China-U.S. Business Summit, and it has a particular Long Beach connection. Your office here, I was going to say woman really, by your general manager, Jin Zhang, who's been very helpful to me in setting this interview up. Why did you pick Long Beach?
Well, because I think Long Beach is the ideal city for Chinese.
Why?
Number one, this is the port direct to China. Okay. Number two, it's a city that very clean, nice, and it's convenient. Not like a big city like a Beijing or New York, while you're doing one meeting that's it for a day. Here, it's you can conduct your business very efficient, and also, of course, the sunshine, and so I like Long Beach very much, and I think it's an ideal place.
Well, thank you for that vote of confidence in our city. It's always nice to get an outsider's view on what we have here. Sometimes we don't fully appreciate the value. And your office is in the World Trade Center here in Long Beach. And during the year, before the summit, after the summit, anyone that wants to get more interest can call up. The numbers we'll put up at the end of the segment, but it's 437-8885, 437-8885. And this year, you're planning to add to the summit, which is up in Los Angeles, as we mentioned earlier, a Long Beach component involving business matchmaking. Tell us a little bit about how that might work.
Well, we are thinking to have a conference and a business matchmaking event here in Long Beach. Because in the past years, once we had our event in downtown Los Angeles, we did get a chance to bring them to Long Beach, but not having any events. But during those a couple of hours, they all love Long Beach. And I'm thinking that this is the right time that we can have the event. And with the support from the local government and the local businessmen, and I think they will be satisfied with what they can see here.
So imagine 200 wealthy Chinese businessmen and women coming down to Long Beach with dollars to spend, looking for opportunities, and meeting with the business community here in Long Beach. That is fantastic. I hope you can make that a reality this year.
We're doing our best effort.
Now, just a little bit about your plans for the future. I know that the summit is not only in Los Angeles, but then moves to Las Vegas and then moves to New York City.
Right.
So you look for business people. Now, you do business in Vegas, right? It's not just recreational there.
No. We have good business there, yes.
Yeah. And then also in New York City.
Of course, yeah.
But as you mentioned, Long Beach, which together with LA is, I believe now, the 6th largest port in the world, is facing China. And it's literally closer to China physically than any other West Coast port. And it's a natural.
Yeah. It is actually the #1 important port to China. Because, there's so many cargoes go through here.
Yes.
And so in China, we all know this is the important port in the United States.
Well, what a wonderful opportunity for our business community to meet with their counterparts in China and perhaps induce them to make real estate investments, business investments,
Yes.
and who knows what. So if you are interested in getting more information about the China-U.S. Summit, we'll put the website up right now at the end of this segment, and we will also again invite you to call the general manager, Jin Zhang, of the Summit office in the World Trade Center, the number 562 area code 437-8885. And we'll be back with the remaining portions of Straight Talk after these messages. I think the summit is a very exciting opportunity for the business community to meet with their Chinese counterparts, and I would urge you to consider getting more information about the summit. Call up the local office, visit the website. And it's particularly exciting that Chairman Shen is thinking of adding a Long Beach component to the summit, bringing these successful business people down to our city. Steve, you mentioned off air that there were 3 important areas of investment. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Number 1 is, of course, real estate. Because, you know, in China, once they make an investment in real estate, that land not belongs to them forever. It's just that for either 50 years or 70 years, once they understand if they make an investment here in real estate, it's their land.
Yes.
And that would be very much different.
It's capitalism, private ownership
Yes.
of property.
Right.
Yay.
Right. And the second is education. As you know, that we got more and more Chinese students coming to the U.S. because we like the education system, and we think the quality is here. So that's why Chinese people would like to invest or sponsor or work together with U.S. schools. So that's very important.
We have many of them right here at California State University, Long Beach, where I teach.
That's what I heard, yes. And the third part is that I believe our best top line Chinese brand restaurant, they haven't got here yet. But now they're ready. They have money and they're ready to go abroad, and the U.S. seem to be the ideal place for them to open their chain restaurant there.
So this is not Panda Express.
No, not Panda Express, not P.F. Chang, and
okay.
It's authentic, like a Peking duck, and a lot of other things as well.
Well, the future has so many opportunities, and Steve, congratulations on coming up with this idea for a summit 4 years ago and making it grow and prosper each year. I'm honored to be part of your program, and thank you for joining us here on Straight Talk.
Thank you, it's my honor.
And thank you for joining us. Please be with us next week for the next edition of our show. Good night, everyone.
Straight Talk has been brought to you by Southern California Edison, the Press Telegram, and remember, Straight Talk is viewable worldwide 24/7 at straighttalktv.com.